Thank you. Shelley, would you do roll call?
Yes, sir. Keith Austin,
Here.
Wes Snowfire, Harley Buzzard, Joe Bird, Julia Coates,
Here.
Sean Crittenden, Joe Deere,
Money.
Mike Dobbins, Kanan Duncan, Rex Jordan, Daryl Legg, Dora Katzkowski, Mike Shambaugh, Mary Bakershaw, E.O. Smith, Janice Taylor, Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
All right. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the January 11th meeting. We got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Sounds unanimous. All right, reports. Diane Kelly, it is so good
I am here.
it is
I
so
am
good
here.
to see you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I apologize that I wasn't here the whole month of January, but there's something called COVID. Then I got pneumonia on top of it, so I was pretty sick.
Well, we celebrate your successful recovery and hope you're getting strong again.
Oh, I am. According to my husband, I started bossing him around this weekend. He said, "You're getting well. You're getting well."
Well, we missed you greatly, so we are glad to have you back, and furthermore, we're glad to hear from you today.
Well, thank you. Well, I would just say happy belated Valentine's Day, and we're almost getting ready to go into March, and it seems like we didn't have a holiday at all with all the snow and all the stuff that was going on. We have submitted a pretty thorough report of what's going on in the Education Committee. It tells you a little bit about alternative education, what we're doing in talking leaves, vocational rehabilitation, our business tech classes, and then we spotlighted our lineman program and our fiber optics program in the back and the number of classes that we've had. It's probably one of the most popular training programs that we've ever done, and it's been very successful. And I can't thank Chief enough for suggesting something like this, because they're good paying jobs, and anybody that goes through it will have a job when they complete it. I would like to share with you a little bit about Talking Leaves. We actually started receiving students about 4 weeks ago. Every 2 weeks, we will get more students coming back to the center until we ramp back up to full capacity. Us and Tulsa are the two in Oklahoma. Guthrie has not started taking students yet. But our distance learning program is at 100%. We do not have anybody submitting paper or we're having to mail stuff out. It's all virtual learning, and it's at 100%. And we're one of the few centers that can truthfully say that. The staff were called back. We went home in March. They got called back in around the first part of June, and our teachers actually had to start working on the virtual learning, and they've been doing that since. And a lot of our other staff have chimed in and started doing virtual recreation activities over the internet, and then our health and wellness have been doing some things, and then our TEAP program, which is our substance abuse and alcohol program. They have also been sending out stuff to the students as well. So I can't say enough about my staff. Our dormitory staff, we're having a visit tomorrow from our safety officer out of the Dallas regional office. They're coming up to check to see if we're following all of the prescribed COVID safety precautions in our dorms, our cafeteria, everything. So they're coming up to check this out. We had submitted a report and sent pictures, but they're coming to check it out tomorrow. And then our state superintendent, Jerry Hoffmeister, she's sending out Leslie Janis, who does the accreditation. They put it on hold last year when the pandemic hit, and now they're coming back to get all of the accreditation paperwork in place. So they'll be over at the center tomorrow doing our accreditation, along with Guthrie and Tulsa. They'll come down with our academics, and they'll do it from our center. But we're excited about the students coming back. When they come back, they're going to be on quarantine for 2 weeks. we realize, or the Department of Labor realizes that there's different standards for different states, there's different standards for this, but across the board, all 120 something Job Corps centers, they are requiring any new student who comes on board to be in quarantine for 2 weeks, which means that once they enter the center, they have to get all their meals from their rooms and the dorms, and they're not allowed to leave the center during that 2 week period. So that's something that we have to tell the students before they enter. So with that said, I want to tell you some really good news. I think I shared with you back in October, November that we were moving, and we had our executive directors meeting last month, and Todd shared with everybody the dates and times that we would be moving in Adair County at our new Stillwell location. We're moving up to what was known as the Mr. B Shopping Center. It was the old research store. It's next door to Cherokee Nation businesses. We will be sharing a suite of offices with the Human Services Department and Indian Child Welfare. We will be kind of in the middle of if you can visualize a sandwich, we'll be the filling between Cherokee Nation businesses and Human Services. We'll be on the west end of the building, and Jennifer Kirby and her staff will be on the east end. And we have our own doors, but we can cross over to work together on any referrals or any clients that we need to work in conjunction with. We're excited. We'll be moving. We'll close our office on Friday, March the 5th, and we'll open at our new location on Monday, March the 8th. And one of my TANF counselors described it as the Taj Mahal compared to where we are right now. So that means if anybody moves in where we're at, they're going to have to remodel because they said we're in the Taj Mahal. I have not actually seen it. I saw it when they were working on it. So all my staff are very excited. I think you will be pleased when you see it because I understand it's really nice. And before that move takes place in Stillwell, we'll be moving March the 1st. We'll close our office in Pryor, which is right next door to Cherokee Nation Industries. We'll be moving over to our new location, which is on the 4-lane highway right there by the Mid-America Industrial Park. And we will open that office on Monday, March the 2nd. And we've already started working to move our testing center over tomorrow. So we're real excited about that move as well. And we will be announcing with CNB ribbon cuttings for Pryor. And I know that the chief's office will be announcing when they'll do the ribbon cutting in Stillwell. And we really would hope that you all would come out and see our offices. The staff are very excited. This is the first time we've moved in a very, very long time. So I told you back in October or November that we were going to be moving to the old Buffington building there in Bonita. It's a historical building, so there's a lot more work that's involved with it. So probably we will move out of the clinic and we'll move to another location there because we've got expanded services that we need to get up there in that area, and we've had them on hold. So probably during the month of March and April, we'll start trying to move out of the clinic and move into another location, especially before the summer programs start. So we'll give you a new announcement on Bonita next month after we get everything worked out. Y'all have any questions?
Do we have any questions for Diane? Diane, I tell you, the investment we've made to help train young people to be linemen this past week showed that those folks who work in that business are heroes. Those people who climb poles in the middle of the night in the middle of a storm to fix people's electricity are true American heroes. And to be part of training those folks for that career is noble. We need to be applauding those folks and recognizing that they really are the people who make America work. Or those men and women who climb poles, dig holes, and string wires.
That's correct. And we've had a lot of partners, and we're going to recognize those partners when it gets a little warmer. We intended to do something in the summer. We intended to do something in the fall. And now that we've got the vaccines, we hope to be able to do something. PSO was gracious enough to give us a truck. We purchased another truck, a digger truck. So we've got a lot of things going on with that program. And when we started the fiber program, you know, a lot of these communities and towns have started their 911. Well, a lot of the schools have started hooking up their telephones, their televisions, and their computers out in these rural communities. And that's where these fiber people come into play, because they're going to be needed to troubleshoot and to get those set up at all the people's homes out in the community and the schools and towns. So we're excited about this program as well.
Well, infrastructure workers have always been great jobs for people who live in the rural environments. And for us to find more and more ways to support that kind of work and to help train people in the infrastructure trades is they're always going to be in demand. They're never going to be replaced by machines. So that's something that I know I really applaud those efforts. Thank you again. Are there other questions, other comments? Diane, I cannot believe they're being this easy on you. They must feel sorry that you've been
I feel
sick.
sorry for me. They'll get me probably Thursday. I'll have a lot of stuff to tell you on Thursday about economic development.
Well, we sure appreciate you being here today, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Director Bunch. I can't see the little picture clear enough to tell if you're there, but I have faith that you are.
I am here. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. There you are. Well, how are you doing today?
I am doing very well.
Why don't you tell us all about the Executive Director's report today?
Okay. Well, you guys should have our report, but I'd like to make a couple of highlights and just make sure you're aware of a few things. One, on March the 1st, the Cherokee Nation valedictorian and salutatorian applications for those high school graduates will open for those awards. Just a reminder, the valedictorian award is awarded at $1,000 per school, and the salutatorian $750 per school. Again, that opens on March the 1st and closes on March the 31st, so a 1 month timeline there. March the 1st will also open up our fall 21-22 school year scholarship applications for our concurrent enrollment, undergraduate, and scholarship students. So they have, again, from March the 1st all the way up till June the 15th, get those applications submitted to us online. And that can be found online. So please let us know if you have students questions about how to fill out the application or need assistance. We'll be glad to schedule them to come in, and we'll help them get that done here in our office. Let's see, we're also taking applications for the Cherokee Nation Stole program, the graduation stoles for the spring 2021 commencement. The deadline for that is April the 30th. So please have any of those students contact us if they have questions about that. We have tentatively scheduled the Public School Appreciation Day for March 23rd. And most likely we're looking at a virtual event, and we will get you more of those details as soon as we possibly can. Again, that's the annual Public School Appreciation Day, brought to you by Sharon Swepston and the Tax Commission with those car tag checks. I know that's a big event each year, March the 23rd. JOM has sent out the information to the school administrators and school JOM contacts in regards to the Challenge Bowl, the Language Bowl, the writing contest or competition, and the art competition. And that has recently been sent out. We have also recently sent out information on the Trail of Tears Awards, and the deadline for that, it must be postmarked by March the 10th. The other thing I've been keeping a close eye on is the Oklahoma legislature just kicked off their newest session. So I've been keeping a close eye on a lot of the education bills on the House side and the Senate side. And I'd like to thank Kim Teehee and her staff in government relations, because they help us watch some of those, and we communicate back and forth from time to time on some of those more important ones. I believe, Councilor Austin, that's pretty much what I have to report on the education services side.
Okay.
I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Are there questions relating to the educational services? The executive director's report. Yes, Counselor Buzzard?
Corey, you give us a lot of dates on deadlines and opening. Can you have somebody to condense that down and email it to us? Because I'd like to put it out.
Yeah, we sure will. We'll do that right away. And we'll also be listing those things on our Cherokee Nation Education webpage as well. And we're doing some work. We'd like to get that updated and be a little bit more user-friendly. But we will definitely have someone email you those important dates and deadlines.
And I know that you send this information probably to the superintendents and counselors, but a lot of times, if you'll send it to the council members from those districts and they put it on their page, you know, a lot more students and parents can see it also. So if you would, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Director Bunch, I've had several parents reach out to me over the last school year about tutoring because so many kids have had hits and misses and starts and stops and distance learning and so forth that it's been very disruptive year for learning environment. And kids who already struggle in a subject are finding it to be really hard to get their steam behind them this year on a subject that they already struggle with. I know we support tutoring through Indian Ed, but I can tell you schools are very inconsistent on what they have to offer with that. And I'm not saying that we have the magic answer, but I hope that we can somehow help encourage schools to use those resources for our native students, so that our native students aren't getting left behind during this period where there's been a real struggle for kids who may have started the year struggling. So
thank you, Councilor Austin, for bringing that up. It's actually it's a great point and one that we've been exploring actually within the last several weeks. We know there's a need for this tutoring services for K through 12 students, and we've actually met with at least one vendor to discuss how it might look if we purchased a certain number of hours so that students could be tutored virtually. So give us just a little bit longer. We're exploring that idea. It's something we're moving towards, definitely.
excellent. Now, are there other questions, other comments for the director's report? Seeing none, move right on to Sequoia High.
Chair. Councilor Austin.
Yes, dear.
Hey, just a real
Yes,
quick
dear.
note. Hey, honey.
I'll take it.
Hey, Director Bunch. Real quick comment. I learned that Epic, the school, is tracking about 4,000 Cherokee students. And I just thought you might sort of put that in your book that there's 4,000 plus students in that Epic charter school now, to maybe be able to track some of them. And I've asked them to track those students. So the same thing is where they're going through school. If we're a freshman, say we start out with 1,000, by the time we get to junior, they only have 500, to actually ask them to track those students so we don't lose where they go. If we do, we follow up with them with a counselor or an advisor to see if they did go back into our school system or where they went, and make sure those students aren't lost. But that's a huge amount of kids from kindergarten through 12th. So you might put in that. We're going to have a discussion about that next week with the EPIC people, and I might pull you in if you don't mind, and I'll call you later about this. So just an FYI to put that in your book. That's all I have to say, Carlson.
Counselor Deere, does is the request to actually ask them to also separate it out as to those kids who live within the Cherokee Nation?
I've asked them for that report. We're starting out just trying to get the numbers where they are, and then we'll start directing them who's in Cherokee Nation, who's at large, where they are.
Okay. Was that a question, by the way? It sounded more like a point of information.
It was just more comment, information / work in progress.
Okay, I just want to make sure Corey was supposed to be answering you.
I'd love to participate in any phone calls you have on that. Just it'd be nice for me to kind of get some more information on that as well. I know that because of the pandemic, Epic picked up a lot of kids from many districts across Cherokee Nation this year. So not sure if that number will stay as high as it is when things kind of settle back down. But definitely Epic continues to grow across the state.
Yeah, and that's sort of where I was at. Just wanted to track those kids. Thank you.
Yes, Councilor Crittenden.
Yeah, I was just curious, does Epic still pay students? Here a while back, they were saying if they would come over to Epic, they would get a certain amount of dollars. Is that still true, or is that ever the case?
I believe what they do is they offer the parents a little bit of assistance to pay for internet services, and they also provide those students with their own device to use. So,
Okay, I was thinking there was some dollars involved in that. I might have been wrong, but I was just curious.
Yeah, I think it probably comes to them in some form of a payment, and they're supposed to, be towards connectivity and such.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Councilor No Fire.
Oh, Corey, I had some questions on, I heard of a COVID Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act that the BIE schools received. Are we receiving those funds? And if so, do we know how they're already going to be allocated?
We will receive, we've already received some funds from the BIE, and I think we're set to receive about $2 million more from the BIE. So we're just now kind of studying what we're going to do with those funds. A large portion of it, I would say, would probably go towards salaries and other things. But definitely working with Ms. Cloud, and we have a team there at Sequoia who looks at that and our biggest needs. So,
okay. I've talked to a few of our staff members and stuff. I know one of the things that they had mentioned other BIE schools had done is much like we did with our healthcare workers and giving them a hazard pay bonus. They were swabbing noses of kids and stuff at Sequoia High School, so they put themselves in harm's way. But also was kind of a unique thing that I think down in the Chickasaws did, or the Choctaws did. They actually bought their team a fishing boat, because I know they have a pretty strong fishing team down there, and you know how much I like fishing. So just kind of some cool uses that they had to kind of improve maybe some outdoor opportunity while the kids can't play competitive team sports inside of an arena because of COVID. Maybe they could have used those funds for that, and I thought that was a kind of cool, unique idea. So yeah, I was just making sure that those funds were coming, and kind of the ideas that I know some of the other BIE schools had done. So glad to hear that's coming.
Thank you, Councilor No Fire. We are definitely looking into getting some sort of incentive or hazard pay for those staff who volunteered. They're still volunteering on a daily basis, and they're kind of putting themselves in danger. So we're working on that, and I hope we'll get that taken care of as soon as possible. And as for the outdoor request, again, we'll take a look at all possibilities, and our team will kind of study that for our students.
No other questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Corey.
Yes.
On the spring athletics at Sequoia High School, are we still have the green light for that?
Right now, we're still on. Everything's on hold. We're not participating in those team sports, especially.
Okay. So we've let OSSAA know that. Is that who we keep informed on how we're handling our sports?
Yeah. Any changes to our seasons that we may have, we'll let the folks at OSSAA know right away.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I see no more. Yes, Mr. No Fire, one more time.
I just have one more comment about those spring sports. I noticed that, we've had this big effort to vaccinate as many people as we can, and the nation's done that, the tribe's done that, and you're starting to see those COVID numbers really, really start to drop. Spring's coming up. I mean, I think our students and teachers both, they've gone through one heck of a school year. And if there is any way you can stress to the administration that these students deserve an opportunity to play spring sports, I think that's at least something that they can have after the year that they've had to go through. I know a lot of athletes, they didn't get to play their senior year. Some of them may have missed out on a scholarship opportunity. We don't know because they didn't get to play in front of recruiting colleges. So it would be great to give them that opportunity. You know, we've come a long ways, and they've gone through a lot of stuff to at least give them an opportunity to play some spring sports right here at the end. It'd be something I think that's well deserved. So, but just a kind of comment, and I appreciate it.
I'll definitely check into that, Councilor Mulfire. Something that caught my attention earlier from one of the earlier meetings is that now the vaccine's being offered to students who are children who are 16 years in age and older. So I think we're headed in the right direction for that.
Yes, Counselor Taylor.
Mr. Bunch, I noticed in your report that you're trying to get the ACT used as the measure of assessment at Sequoia. How is that going? I haven't heard of that before. I think it's a great idea. How's that going, and what are your thoughts about that being approved to use for our assessment?
Great question, Councilor Taylor. That was actually offered to us through the BIE as a possibility, and it's one that we're applying to do. And it really makes perfect sense since, you know, we encourage all of our students to take the ACT, and we would rather them to use this useful tool than use something that might not be as useful. The other comment I have about testing for the spring is that the testing is still on from the state level. So we will be looking at test prep within the next few weeks there at Sequoia High School. And that testing window opens up at the end of March and kind of runs through most of April.
Okay, thank you.
So, Director Bunch, what do you know anything about the upcoming ACT camp?
I can get you some details. I don't know very many other details on that, sir.
Okay. Thanks to Counselor Shaw. She sent me this message to remind me that on March 27th is the ACT boot camp, virtual, and registration is February 26th is the deadline, so it's coming up very quick. I'll ask for that to be shared with all the council so that they can remember to share that with their constituents. Thank you, Council.
We will add that to we'll definitely add that to our list that we're going to send Councilor Buzzard to ask.
Now, I've got one request, Corey. Use some of those CARE Act funds to buy you a decent microphone.
Okay.
Because you are really hard to understand on this big screen.
You're definitely trying.
So we appreciate you a lot, and I think it looks like we've worn everybody out, so there's no more questions. All right? Thank you again. Now, Verna, are you there? Is Verna Thompson with us today?
I don't believe Verna's going to be able to make it today.
Well, then,
actually.
Then I don't guess we're done with you, are we?
Okay. She just asked me to let you guys know that she is starting back to phase in students, and I believe Nowata site is one that they're just starting back with this week. So she was very excited about being able to bring some students back into action there, and so are the parents, I'm sure. But other than that, it's just kind of gearing back up. We're starting to get more of our employees back on site and gearing back up to hopefully get back into business very soon.
Are there any questions relating to Head Start? I see none. I guess we're done with you, Corey.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you a lot. I see no old business or new business, and the next meeting is scheduled for March 15th, 3 p.m. I need a motion to move for adjournment. All in favor, say aye. Sounds unanimous to me.